Welcome back to ZNGP today. Fresh off his first Mugello win in 11 years, Marc Márquez now eyes Assen, calling it another, difficult, track, but one he approaches with growing momentum. Despite dominating Italy, the number 93 insists Alex Marquez and Pecco Bagnaia are faster, while drawing an unexpected comparison between his brother and former rival Andrea Dovizioso. After a frustrating home race at Mugello, Francesco Bagnaia arrives in Assen aiming to reset and rebuild. Despite finishing off the podium for the third consecutive race, the three-time world champion insists the signs of progress are real. But the solution must be collective, not individual. As MotoGP's first back-to-back weekend unfolds, Michelin technical director Piero Taramasso expects cooler, wetter conditions at Assen compared to Mugello's searing heat. He also dispels concerns over the hole in Bagnaia's rear tire, revealing it was merely a blister, not a structural failure. Amid the heat of Mugello's early battles, Marc Márquez and Pecco Bagnaia found themselves summoned to the FIM steward's office, an encounter that could have soured the paddock atmosphere. Yet, instead of a reprimand, it became a moment of mutual understanding, thanks to new chief steward Simon Crafar. Unreleased Sky Italia footage now captures Marquez's genuine relief and praise for Crafar's consultative approach. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. Even with a clean sweep at Mugello, pole, sprint, GP, Marc Márquez isn't letting success cloud his mindset. The weekend in Italy is already forgotten. We enter a doubleheader with the same mentality: defend, without giving up anything. Assen has traditionally not suited Marquez's riding style, but with confidence peaking and the Desmosed-side GP responding perfectly, Marc's cautious optimism feels more strategic than self-doubt. Despite holding a 110-point lead over Bagnaia and comfortably leading the standings, Marquez downplays his dominance. I arrive with the idea that Alex and Pecco are faster than me. He even distances current success from his iconic 2019 title year. I won't compare it to 2019, that was my best season, but I feel very comfortable now, with the team and with the bike. This version of Marc doesn't need to shout. The confidence is quiet, the execution clinical. The rest of the grid is paying attention. Marc likened the title fight with brother Alex to the one he had with Andrea Dovizioso during their epic duels at Ducati. Having Alex as a rival creates a feeling like with Dovi. You expect a little less, but he's always there, very consistent, with different strengths than mine. While Marc operates with explosive bursts, Alex Marquez's consistency and measured aggression have kept him within 37 points of the lead. He's finished on the podium in nearly every race this year, all on last year's satellite spec bike. Though Pecco Bagnaia trails by 110 points, Marc refuses to rule out the reigning champion. Checkmate can't come in race 9. Yes, it's a big gap, but we're not even halfway. Honestly, I expected the names of Pecco and Alex to be reversed. Despite Bagnaia's struggles, Marc respects the unpredictability of MotoGP. He knows form can shift fast, and a few DNFs could tighten the title race again. With Liberty Media's acquisition of MotoGP now official, Marquez remains hopeful, but cautious. I think Liberty's arrival will be very positive. But every sport has its own identity, and you can't replicate Formula One's atmosphere here. Marc's influence on and off the track makes him a crucial voice during this transition period. As the sport leans into a more global and commercial future, his steady tone could serve as a compass. Marc Márquez may be leading the championship, but he's still hunting like a challenger. With Alex emerging as his fiercest rival and Liberty Media reshaping the paddock, the 2025 season continues to evolve. Assen may be difficult, but if Mugello proved anything, it's that nothing is impossible when Marquez is in this kind of form. Though Bagnaia's fourth-place result at Mugello stung, he now reflects on it as a turning point. Mugello was difficult, but at least it was the first weekend where I could really fight again. We had problems later in the race, but in the first laps, we were there. That's where we need to start again, Bagnaia said. Pecco knows Assen won't offer a miracle fix, but sees a clearer direction after finding a more stable front end, critical for his braking-heavy style. Ducati has rolled out new aero and chassis components recently, but Bagnaia says there won't be any drastic changes yet. To make a real change, we need to go radical. Maybe we'll do that at Sachsenring. For now, we continue in the same direction as Mugello. With Marc Márquez dominating on the same machinery, the contrast between riding styles and results grows sharper. But Pecco remains committed to refining his own base, not copying setups. As Márquez sweeps weekends and takes pole after pole, the pressure on Pecco grows. But he's not turning away. The hardest part is knowing I'm capable of doing certain things, but I can't do them right now. I'm angry after Mugello, but I'm working with my team to find the way forward. Alone, I can't solve this. The humility in Bagnaia's admission reveals both vulnerability and resilience. It's a fight not just on track, but inside his own psyche. Pecco's early laps at Mugello featured a fierce battle with the Marquez brothers, until the front grip dropped. Some pundits said he pushed too early. He disagrees. My strategy was to stay in front. This is the first year I haven't been able to do that. Being behind increases front tire temp and makes things worse. I wasn't overly aggressive. I was trying to stay ahead, just like Marc. That scrap was a glimpse of the real Pecco, again, assertive, unafraid. It might not have delivered a podium, but it gave him belief that he can still fight the best. Following a small contact with Marc at turn 3, both riders were summoned by race direction, yet no penalties were handed out. It was clearly a racing incident. Thankfully, the stewards just wanted to understand. With Simon Crafar leading, there's more dialogue now. Before, you'd talk, but the penalty was already decided. Pecco appreciates this cultural shift, one where riders can explain their side before punishment. And in a sport of split-second decisions, that empathy matters. Francesco Bagnaia's 2025 title hopes are flickering, but not extinguished. Assen, a track where he's undefeated since 2022, could be the turning point. With a committed team behind him and a calmer mind, Pecco's road to redemption is far from over. Taramasso contrasts Assen's fast-flowing layout and unpredictable Dutch weather with Mugello's punishing asphalt and temperatures over 50 degrees Celsius. Assen will certainly be cooler, and there's even rain risk, making tire management simpler than the inferno at Mugello, Taramasso said. With stability paramount on Assen's sweeping corners and chicanes, riders will lean on harder fronts to reach operating window in cool air, while battling rear tire heat from constant acceleration. Michelin brings the same specs as last year, 3 fronts, 2 asymmetrical rears, trusting proven performance. The sprint saw most use soft rears then medium for the feature. Hard fronts are popular here because you need stability and the ability to keep them in temperature. Riders must finesse a balance, heating the hard front early, then preserving grip, while controlling rear temperatures to avoid overheating, especially in damp or windy conditions. Mugello's unprecedented heat stressed tires to extremes, but Michelin's compounds held up. We learned that managing rear tire temperature was the key. Teams ran lower pressures and fine-tuned electronics to limit rear spin. Despite slower lap times under scorching conditions, tire consistency shone, paving the way for refined strategies at circuits less demanding on thermal loads. Bagnaia reported a rear tire hole at Mugello. Taramasso clarifies it was a benign blister burst, common under high stress. The hole in Pecco's tire was a blister, an air bubble that pops at extreme temperature. It's visual only, with no impact on performance or safety. On fast tracks like Silverstone or Assen, similar blisters appear, but riders feel no vibration or degradation, an expected phenomenon rather than a defect. At Assen, the front's operating window is crucial, but the rear's heat must be carefully controlled. While fronts rarely suffer wear here, rears can overheat under constant acceleration. Ironically, soft rears can run cooler as tread thins with wear. Paradoxically, many may opt for soft rears to manage peak temperatures, banking on steady performance degradation rather than sudden blistering. With Michelin tires proven in Mugello's furnace, Assen promises a more conventional challenge, focusing on stability through rapid direction changes and cooler track temps. As teams adapt compound choices and pressures to Dutch whims, the spectacle shifts from heat survival to precision tire management, setting the stage for another thrilling chapter in the 2025 MotoGP season. When asked why he headed to race direction, Marquez winced at the bureaucratic overtones of past stewarding, then shrugged it off. Nothing, it's just MotoGP. Simon Crafar is doing really well. He always wants to talk to all the riders and know their opinions. In an era of heavy-handed stewarding, Marquez appreciated a hands-on but empathetic figure who prioritizes clarity over punishment, redefining the rider's interaction with authority. Marquez contrasted Crafar's method with previous protocols under Freddie Spencer, where riders were told their fate, not consulted. It's not like in the past when they called you in to tell you what you did wrong. They want to know what happened. That shift transforms stewarding from punitive to investigative, inviting riders to share context, and in Marquez's case, to defend a hard overtake as a genuine racing incident. In candid remarks caught on Dorna cameras, Marquez revealed his conversation with crew chief Marco Rigamonti after the session. "I like how they're doing it, at least we talk things through." That debrief extended beyond the office's four walls, boosting morale in the garage. Riders and teams now feel heard, not dictated to, a subtle but powerful morale shift. Marquez shared the steward's guidance verbatim: leave a wider line when overtaking to ensure clear space for the overtaken rider. "They told me if you overtake, you need a wider line so he can go through. I went in at an angle, but with Simon you can talk to him." Rather than an immediate penalty, Marquez received actionable advice, encouraging safer battles without compromising the sport's fierce wheel-to-wheel spirit. Since assuming the role this season, former 500 cubic centimeters race winner Crafar has redefined stewarding consistency. Riders from Marquez to mid-pack contenders commend his transparent process. Replacing the erratic Spencer era, Crafar's tenure has restored faith in race direction, emphasizing dialogue, fairness, and the collective pursuit of clean racing. The Mugello steward's summons could have ignited controversy. Instead, it became a showcase for positive change in MotoGP governance. Thanks to Simon Crafar's open-door policy, Marquez and Bagnaia left race direction not with a penalty, but with clarity, and a renewed sense of respect for the men in the room. In a championship defined by razor-thin margins, that human touch may prove as decisive as any victory on track.